Praises to the Most High Yahuwah Elohim. This is your boy, your friend, your brother, Frenchie, the West African Yasharan. Today's topic, investigation, is going to be about the 12 tribes chart. Yes, I'm here to expose the 12 tribe chart because this chart is very, very, very false. Yeah, I repeat, yeah. Native Americans and the Hispanics, Latinos, and either the Europeans are not Israelites. And there's many, many facts and many, many ways to prove it. Yeah? Matter of fact, I'm not even trying to prove anything to anybody. The truth is out there. You can see it on your own. Yeah? And I'm doing this video for those that want the truth. Yeah? Those that want the truth. And it's what that's the whole purpose of this YouTube channel anyway. Yeah. The worst thing about this chart is that it started with a dream. So a man had a dream, and by that we all gotta believe it. Like seriously, people. I do not know why some of our people are following these campers. And most of these campers are what they preach. And when you see them, they don't look like people that you can listen to be honest. Yeah, especially when they preach nonsense out there on street corners. Yeah, but that's not a big problem anyway. As I was saying, this video is for people that look for truth. Yeah, the truth is out there. You can seek it. You can find it. You can look for it. You can do all things with this truth. Yeah, it's out here for us, for people, to look for it. Yeah, and it's only down to us to find it. Yeah, so I'm gonna lay out evidences, biblical evidences, and geographical evidences, and archaeological evidences, and everything to prove, or to make people understand that this 12 chart is completely false, and we should not follow it. As I always say, myself, and I made a documentary about it, I am a descendant of the 10 lost tribes, or the Northern Kingdom of Israel, if you want. Yeah, and I'm from Africa. I will not that strange people take on my heritage. So, shalom, and let's get it started. So, have you heard a guy? He said he don't believe in men having visions, yeah, or should I say dream? So we're gonna go read a few scriptures here to confirm what this Mexican guy told the guy, because he's right. You are not to believe any man or any prophet or so-called prophets that says he had a dream. Yeah? So let's go to Jeremiah chapter 23. Yeah, Jeremiah chapter 23. Verse 25, 26, and 28. Jeremiah chapter 23. Yeah. Verse 25, 26, and 28. I've heard what the prophet said. That prophecy lies in my name, saying, I have dreamed. 26. How long shall these be in the heart of the prophets, that prophecy lies. Yeah, they are prophets of the deceit of their own heart. Yeah? Let's jump down to 28. The prophets that have a dream, let him tell a dream. And he that have my word, let him speak my word faithfully. What is the chaff to the wheat? Says Yahuwah. Yeah? So we're not to believe anybody, but I'm going to get it from the Apocrypha. Yeah? Precept up on this one. Verse 25, and you get a precept up on it. Yeah? Let's go to Sirach, or you can say Ecclesiasticus, chapter 34. Yeah? Chapter 34, verse 1. And then we're going to do from verse 5 through 10. Yeah? Let's read. The hope of a man void of understanding are vain and false, and dreams lift up fools. Let's jump to verse 5. Divinations and soothsaying and dreams are vain, and the heart fancieth as a woman's heart in travail. If they be not sent from the Most High in thy visions, set not thy heart upon them. For dreams have deceived many. Yeah? Many of these people that believe in the 12 charts are deceived by these dreams. Yeah? Thank you, Yahuwah, for this word. Yeah, let me keep going. And they have failed that put their trust in them. The law shall be found perfect without lies, and his 12 chart is a big lie, and wisdom is perfection to a faithful mouth. Hallelujah. A man that have traveled knoweth many things, and he that hath much experience would declare wisdom. He that hath no experience knoweth little, but he that hath traveled is full of prudence. Yes. You see what I'm saying? This is how we know that this church is a lie, because a lot of things that I'm going to recover in this documentary, yeah, they did not know it when they started with this church chart. Yeah, they did not know those things, and those things, yeah, those things that I discovered, yeah, throughout my research, yeah, they're very easy to know. So that's why verse 9 is for these people that believe in the church of chart. Yeah? We have to be prudent, but that's only if we have wisdom. But since people want to believe in dreams, they are deceived. But today, I'm here to make sure that you are deceived no more.
And so in the year 1421, some 70 years before Columbus, if Menzies is right, the Chinese may at last have made landfall on the continent of America. He cites as evidence a research paper co-authored by 11 geneticists, one of whom was Gabriel Novick's. The paper says that Native American DNA is closer to Chinese than European or African DNA, and that this genetic mixing could have happened 10 or 12,000 years ago, when people migrated across the Bering Straits, which is a fairly recent occurrence in DNA terms.
Now, this is Professor Novick's research, a close similarity between the Chinese and the Native Americans suggests recent gene formation. All of the places where Chinese DNA is.
Now let's discuss the Native Americans as the commonly depicted Native Americans throughout history, the ones with red skin, being in the Americas as the first inhabitants and how they got to the Americas. Anthropology states that two main groups of what we now call the Native Americans traveled out of Asia 23,000 years ago. They believe the groups splintered off from an East Asian population. The group from Northeast Asia crossed the Bering Land Bridge, known as the Bering Strait, between Northeast Asia and Alaska, eventually making their way to the rest of the Americas. They also state that 10,000 years later, or about 13,000 years ago, Native Americans started to split into different groups, creating different tribes across North and South America. However, anthropologists divided the migration groups into two. One is the first Americans, being Northeast Asian, and another they identify as Population Y, which carried ancestry more closely related to indigenous Australians. That's your Aboriginals with dark skin and straight to wavy hair from Australia. This explains why some Native Americans are shown in images with very dark skin and straight hair. These are descendants of the Australian Aboriginals. These Aboriginals would have also been victims of slavery. So if you believe that you are an American Aboriginal or descendant, you're implying that you are a descendant of the Australian Aboriginals who migrated into the Americas along with the Northeast Asians, who had straight or wavy loose curled hair. So I have to ask you, if you're an Aboriginal of America, why is your hair Afro-textured? As you'll all agree, you may have seen images of dark-skinned Native Americans and also Australian Aboriginals, but their hair has never been Afro-textured. Native Americans today can trace their ancestry to Eurasian migrants with Australasian ancestry, which adds tangible evidence and proof to the research and studies. So this would of course mean that there would have been darker-skinned Native Americans as well as lighter-skinned Native Americans based on these two groups. What I will say, if you believe you are an Aboriginal of the Americas, take a DNA test. It will show if you have Australasian or Eurasian ancestry as well as Native American ancestry. And if it comes back instead with countries from Africa, well, self-hate is a hell of a drug. But self-love is an incredible cure. Also, the oldest bones and artifacts correlate with this information. Now, how do African people or Black people fit into this migration? Are the so-called African Americans descendants of the dark-skinned, straight-haired Australian Aboriginals? No. Their hair alone would tell you different. As I stated, Australian Aboriginals were created by Homo sapien and Denisovan DNA as well as some Neanderthal DNA, hence why they look different to the Black Papua New Guineans, who still look like African people. The teachings that Africans came before Columbus was not based on mass migration of huge numbers of African people to the Americas before these Eurasians and Australasian peoples. It was after this migration, but before Columbus discovered the Americas and the natives. Now I say discover, but he didn't discover America. Firstly, you can't discover a people and a continent that was already here, had their own culture and civilization. There's overwhelming evidence that proves that African people regularly sailed across the Atlantic to the Americas, thousands of years before Columbus. Ancient civilizations from Egypt and West African countries traveled to the Americas, teaching the natives how to build a civilization. They brought with them the art of pyramid building, political systems, and religious practices, as well as mathematics, writing, and a sophisticated calendar. And if you don't believe me, well, maybe you'll believe a white man. Christopher Columbus himself wrote in his journal, Black-skinned people had come from the southeast in boats, trading in gold-tipped spears. This was documented in 1920 by renowned American historian and linguist Leo Weiner of Harvard University in his book Africa and the Discovery of America. One of the first documented instances of Africans sailing and settling in the Americas were Black Egyptians led by King Ramses III during the 19th dynasty in 1292 BC. In 1311 AD, another major wave of African exploration to the New World was led by King Abu Bakari II, the ruler of the 14th century Mali Empire, which was larger than the Roman Empire. The king sent out 200 ships of men and 200 ships of trade material, crops, animals, cloth, and African knowledge of astronomy, religion, and art. Travel in the seas and oceans was not a European invention, but in fact was started by the African people. In the early 1940s, archaeologists uncovered a civilization known as the Olmecs of 1200 BC, which predated any other advanced civilization in the Americas. The Olmec civilization, which was of African origin and dominated by Africans. This was the first significant civilization in the Americas. Olmecs are known for the giant carved heads found in central Mexico. They have unmistakable African Negroid features. Historian Professor Ivan van Sertima explains how Olmecs were the first Mesoamerican civilization to use a written language, sophisticated astronomy, arts, and mathematics, and they built the first cities in Mexico, all of which greatly influenced the Mayans and other Native American civilizations. Africans played an integral role in the Olmec Empire's rise, and that African influence was happening during the same period as the ancient Black Egyptian civilization. Need more evidence? Easy. They found narcotics, cocaine, and nicotine native to America inside ancient Egyptian mummies. These substances are only derived from American plants. This could only happen by trade between Africa and America. Need more? They found statues of animals like lions, elephants, and gorillas, which are not found in the Americas, but in Africa in Native American civilization. The Mayans, Aztecs, and Incas all worship black gods. They have paintings and surviving artwork that show dark-skinned gods with Negro features with woolly hair. But one of the major things is American pyramids. Pyramid construction is highly specialized. Ancient Egyptians started out with the step pyramids and eventually progressed to the smooth pyramids you see in Giza. But in Levanta, Mexico, the Olmecs made a fully finished pyramid. The Olmecian and Egyptian periods were both placed on the same north-south axis and had the same construction methods. Both the pyramids in America and Africa served the same dual purpose: tombs and temples. What I'm telling you is only a tiny fraction of the similarities. The Olmecs created and carved the heads of the African explorers who came from Africa and taught them about religion, mathematics, astronomy, civilization, and so much more, to forever praise them and show gratitude for the gifts Africa gave to the Americas. Clearly, Africans helped civilize America way before Europeans even knew America existed, and way before Europeans claimed to have civilized Africa. So now you know the African people definitely discovered the Americas before the Europeans. You know they civilized the Native Americans. You know there was 2 waves of Native American migrations. People from Northeast Asia, the lighter skin group, and Australasian Aborigines, the darker skin group. Even if you believe your ancestors were already here before anyone else, you still had to come from Africa. They still had to migrate from Africa. Therefore, you're African. But take a DNA test and see for yourself. Africa built the world. Don't be ashamed of being a descendant of Africa.
And if you do not want to believe this guy in his documentary, there's plenty of evidences, you know what I'm saying, that the Africans discovered America. And I'm not talking about the African Israelites. I am talking about the Hamites. Yeah? And that's the reason why you see the close resemblance in traditions. You know what I'm saying? Because the Africans, Hamites, gave their religions and traditions to the Native Americans, kind of. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's the reason why you see resemblance, like you can see some Native Americans having placed in their mouth like the people in Africa. You see what I mean? So one more proof that the Native Americans, yeah, they're not Israelites. Yeah. But I will leave some stuff, you know what I'm saying, in the description below for the doubters. Yeah. So let's keep it going. So also quickly a little touch on history. So in case anybody wanted to believe that the King Mansa Musa from Africa that discovered America, if it was an Israelite, no, he's not an Israelite. Yeah. He was a Hamite, indeed. But what people do not know is that the Shemite Israelite, or the Jews of Africa, if you want to call it that, they lived among the Hamites as well at one point in Western Sudan Empire. Yeah, but that's another lesson for today. Yeah, so the kingdom of Timbuktu, right? This name was in our time, as some think, imposed upon this kingdom from the name of certain towns, so-called, which they said King Mensa Suleiman. Yeah, Mensa Suleiman, founded in the year of the Hijriya. Yeah, so Mensa is the same family as Keita and all these kings. Yeah, that founded America. Yeah, and we're going to jump down. So just to remind you, that's page 28 and 29 of Western African history. Excuse me. Yeah. So now I'm on page 29, and we read, "And the king so soon as he heareth that any merchants are come to town with horses, he commandeth a certain number to be brought before him, and chooseth the best horse for himself. He payeth a most liberal price for him. He so deadly hated all Ayus, basically Jews. But something you gotta think about, yeah. How comes we talk about Jews in Africa? You see what I mean? That he will not admit any into his city, and whosoever barbarian merchants he understandeth have any dealing with the Ayus, which is Jews, he presently causeth their goods to be confiscated. Yeah? So understand these people are not Israelites. So in case you want to try to say that the Africans that discovered America was Israelite, it's not true. Western African history speaks for itself. Thank you. Just for this segment, I'm just going to talk about the mixing between Negroes and the Indian, because a mix did happen in certain occasions. You know what I'm saying? It was not a wild thing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but we need to speak about it, because people want to cry all the time. Yeah, the Indians, blah, 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 and they have Indian DNA and all that, you know what I'm saying? Or they have a Indian ancestor and all that. Yeah, now we're going to get in touch with that. We're going to see what it was about, because it is for a reason that they mixed, you know what I'm saying? Or should I say various reasons, yeah? So we're going to go to page, just to remind, this is African slavery in the Latin American and the Caribbean, yeah? And we are in page 38, yeah? And we read, "The Mosquito presence complicated the dynamic of slavery and the blackness in Central America. To meet the demands of growing British laborers' needs in the Caribbean, the Mosquito served as slavers raiding the Spanish colonies of Honduras, Panama, and Costa Rica for the remaining Indians, especially the so-called wild Indians who had not been completely conquered. Yeah, they also entered into agreement with the British government to serve as bounty hunters. Interesting, yeah. In the search for black fugitive slaves.
Didn't I tell you that? Didn't I say that? All praises to the Most High, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shabashim, Rakaku Dash. I told you that. I fucking told you.